Good afternoon, everybody, or evening it actually already is where I live, and welcome to this new video and this new middle of the day market updates right here on Cilinix Crypto. If you're new to the channel, then very much welcome. In this video, we're going to do a bit of a preparation for next week. We'll talk about some important levels for Bitcoin, for XRP, for Ethereum. And then we'll also talk about some specific altcoins that I personally like, that have quite a lot of momentum, and where I also think that it has the potential to actually rally up higher. So if you're new to this channel, I make these videos, or at least I try to make these videos every single day. We're basically in the middle of the day, and usually during the US session, right? So when the United States wakes up, which is normally the time when most volatility and volume kicks in, I tell you what I'm looking at and just give you some pointers in the right direction, or at least that's what I try to do. All right. And overall, I'd say these videos are quite valuable, but in the end, that's up to you to decide. But for now, let's get right into it. So like I said, also wanted to do a bit of a preparation for next week. Now, if you watch my Bitcoin video and my Ethereum video this morning, you already know about this. But there's a couple of things you need to know. First of all, regarding the general financial markets, right? I mean, the general financial markets have been closed in the weekend, which is normal, as most of you know. But we actually did get some major news with those tariffs on Mexico and the EU. So it's going to be interesting to see how those markets open. Now, personally, I think it's going to be volatile short term, but I do think ultimately that they will be able to hold up. And then it's all about the development of some sort of a trade deal between the United States and the EU, and how well that's going to go. I mean, if it doesn't go well, then we could see some sort of a pullback or a retrace for the S&P 500, which will also influence Bitcoin. And I think in general, a pullback for Bitcoin would be quite healthy. But if it's a pullback fueled by fundamentals, then that's not amazing. And then outside of that, something interesting, or at least something valuable that you need to know as well, is that on Tuesday we have some major economic data coming out with the inflation rate and CPI data. That matters. Right now there's also still, so there we want to see lower than expected data, but that is something I will still keep you updated on, and hopefully I'll also be able to do a live stream during that. So keep an eye on the channel for that as well, which is normally great fun. But then outside of that, I mean, at this point of time, there's still quite a lot of tension between Donald Trump and the Federal Reserve, about cutting these interest rates. And we have a lot of speeches by Federal Reserve board members. So that can be interesting if they ask the right questions, and if they give some maybe some controversial or different answers than what we already know right now, which is that they're not going to change the rates in July, and most likely they are in September, based also on data such as what we have on Tuesday with the inflation rate data. So be aware of that. I think those are the main things that you need to be aware of fundamentally for next week. So let's talk about some majors. Now, Bitcoin itself is moving as expected. If you watch my video this morning, if you watch my video yesterday, what I said is that it looked like it was more likely that we were going to liquidate some shorts first. And that is what we're doing right now. We're moving up. We made a new all-time high. So congratulations, everybody. But what I said as well is that I thought afterwards it would be more likely that we would fall back into this kind of very short-term balance we made over the course of the weekend, and that we would pull back lower. And that remains to be seen right now. I mean, for me, the most important level is the value area high right here at 118.2. If we're able to hold that over the course of the next 12, 16 hours with volume, then I think we're just going to continue rallying up. And then we're aiming for 120. We're aiming for 122.5. Look, ultimately, the markets at this point in time are bullish, right? So would I short Bitcoin? Definitely not. And I think you should definitely be open for a situation like this. But like I said, it all depends on the next 12 hours. Is Bitcoin going to be able, after that open of the financial markets again, is Bitcoin going to be able to hold 118.2? If not, if we break down below that, it's most likely we're going to rebound or we're going to retrace into areas right here between 115.5 and $114,000. So those are the two possibilities. At this point of time for Bitcoin, I would still say it's most likely we are going to pull back a little bit lower. That's based on my personal beliefs on the fundamentals, and that's also just what I said earlier this morning and yesterday as well, right? So I'm sticking with those thoughts. Now, talking about some other majors, when we're looking at XRP and Ethereum at this point of time, look, a lot of the markets are very correlated, right? So Ethereum, I expect the same. And XRP, I expect the same as well. But relevant levels for both. For Ethereum, the most relevant level is right here between 2850 and 2800 round. And for XRP, it would be this level right here at 2.6. So those are basically the levels that, you know, if we actually want to see a continued uptrend, we need to get a strong reaction there. And there's also potential buy targets or buy areas I'm looking at. Now, overall, when we're talking about altcoins, look, personally, I'm never a big fan of buying altcoins in the weekend, so that's also not something I've done. But overall, altcoins on the higher time frames look great. We're at a resistance level right now with a yearly rolling VWAP. So would I buy, or would I massively buy into altcoins right here? No, but ultimately higher time frames, they look great for bullish continuation. Now, when we're talking about some specific altcoins right here, the main narrative that's doing very, very well is these veteran coins, right? So then we're talking about Cardano, we're talking about Stellar, we're talking about Hedera, we're talking about Algorand. I think that's a narrative you should still pay attention to quite a lot. It's going to be interesting to see how the pump.fun token develops. That's also a coin I think you should definitely keep on your watch list. And then outside of that, but this is very early, so it's a bit risky that I'm telling you this. But these metaverse coins are also showing some potential, right? So then we're talking about Sand, which has quite a lot of momentum and which is also breaking out, so that could be interesting. But also Decentraland or Mana, and I do want to stress that these projects have absolutely no potential fundamentally, but technically they're gaining a lot of momentum, and crypto can be weird sometimes. That it's still that projects like that can still rally a lot. So keep your eyes on those, but that's what I think you need to know for now. I think that's it. So thank you for watching. Have a great rest of your Sunday. I'll be back with new videos tomorrow, but for now, thank you for watching. Take care and bye.